Hi everyone and welcome back to Fully Playable Games. So on today's video we are going to be doing another random pickups video, and I have to say we have got some absolute belters in today's video. Some that were a bit of a shock to me when they actually arrived. Others were sort of ticking off something that more fits into the fact that I want to make sure that I've got access to all my physical media. So what I will also say is, before we start the video, this is going to be the last game hunt before I do my room tour. So on, I believe it's Friday's video this week, is going to be the 3-year anniversary of the channel, and for that we're going to do a room tour. So I think I said last year I'm going to aim to do a room tour every year on the channel's birthday, and yeah, I am partway through sorting out the games room. So you'll see by sort of Friday, all of the shelves will be completely reorganised. I'm going to go through and basically alphabetise everything in the room. So yeah, I'm on a big push to get that done before this Friday. But yeah, let's dive straight into the pickups. And the first load of pickups that we've got are a couple that we picked up from the friend of the channel, Nikki. So he sent me a text message as per normal, showing me some pictures and videos of bits that he's picked up. And yeah, got all of this off him. So the first one that we got off him was a sealed Xbox 360 game, and that was Ace Combat Assault Horizon. This is a limited edition. So I believe this comes with, where does it say what it comes with? So it's got the game, soundtrack, a signed notebook, and an exclusive aircraft. As I say, it is sealed. I am going to keep it sealed as well, because I do have a normal copy of Ace Combat in the shelf. So yeah, this one I'm going to keep sealed. Looking it up online, I paid £5 for it. Looking it up online, obviously because it's sealed, I haven't got a CEX price. But on eBay it goes for about £10. Then next up we've got MX Superfly. So this is essentially sort of a motocross game on the original Xbox. I don't think I said that. It was okay. I have to admit, a lot of these sort of the earlier sort of motocross games that you get on like the PS2 and the original Xbox, even some of them on the Xbox 360 for example, I just think that the controller schemes are really lacking, and it either makes the game boring to play or just difficult beyond belief. So yeah, wasn't a massive fan of this one, but it is another one to help me sort of bolster out my Xbox, my original Xbox collection. So I think, looking at the shelf, I think I'm closing in on sort of 200 games on the original Xbox, which is really good. So I didn't pay anything for that. Nikki, to be honest, everything else that I picked up from Nikki today, he chucked in for free. Once again, me and Nikki, we tend to do, so Nikki will find a lot of stuff for me. I tend to do him a lot of favours. So at the moment, I am helping him build out a PC that he got. So he managed to pick up an old gaming PC, and if I remember rightly, he paid, it's either 10 or 20 quid for it. It's got a fairly decent graphics card for the age, a decent processor, but obviously we've got to upgrade the RAM and just do some other work to it. So yeah, he's sort of funneling me a lot of stuff, but yeah, it's a bit of a sort of he helps me, I help him sort of thing. So that goes for £2.50 at CEX, £5 on eBay. Then we've got Madden 07 on the Xbox 360. I think actually, I remember when I think this was the one that I was playing recently to capture the footage, and it finally clicked how to actually play the game. So yeah, I think I was playing it for a lot longer. Normally I get about sort of 5 minutes or so into a game, just get bored and end up sort of putting it down. But actually this time I ended up making my way up the field. Didn't score any goals or anything like that, but yeah, I still am not a big fan of American football. So yeah, obviously if you're a viewer in America, that's probably an instant dislike. But yeah, I just can't get my head around it. So Madden goes for £1 at CEX, $2.50 on eBay. Then we got Killer Instinct on the Xbox One. So yeah, I don't actually mind the Killer Instinct games. I never really played them when they originally come out. I was very much sort of, when I was younger, it was all about Street Fighter. I was heavily into Street Fighter 2, but unfortunately didn't have a copy at home, so the only time I ever got to play it was out at the arcades. Obviously Mortal Kombat never really picked up. But yeah, the Killer Instincts, I never really picked them up, but obviously I've played quite a few of them now since starting the channel, and I have to admit I really enjoy them. I really do. Obviously there are fighting games that I prefer more. I would actually say a lot of the sort of like one-off games, the one-off fighting games, we've got a couple. I think probably one of my favourites at the moment is Fighting Vipers, which I thought was absolutely brilliant. And then there's another one, I think it's also a Saturn game, I can't remember. No, Fighting Vipers is the one where you're in the cage, so yeah, I like that. And then there was another one where you sort of transformed into an animal. And I played it recently, I can't remember what it's called. I'll put the name down here. Yeah, that's going to bug me now. But yeah, so there are a couple of sort of one-off fighting games that I've really enjoyed. But yeah, Killer Instinct goes for £2 at CEX, £5 on eBay. Then we've got one actually that I didn't realise we already had in the collection, and that is Stormrise on the PS3. I will be honest, I can't remember too much about this. Shows you how engaging it was. Yeah, you'll be seeing the footage that I captured of it, but yeah, I just can't remember what this was like. It looks like Command. Yeah, I don't know. I can't remember what this one. I really can't remember. But yeah, we do already have it in the collection, so that is going to be a double. That goes for £2 at CEX, £5 on eBay. Then we've got a couple of PC games. So we've got Lego Chess. I will admit, I do really like the old Lego PC games because they come in these sort of custom cases, and then you can actually sort of clip them together when you stack them. I thought that was really good. Obviously, they're a real pain if you're trying to stack them in within normal CD cases. But yeah, it's a bit of a unique one. So that one, couldn't see it listed. No, it is £2 at CEX, £5 on eBay. And then the other one we've got was Pokemon, Gotta Make Them All. So it's Project Studio Blue. So this is basically like an arts and crafts sort of project software. And yeah, so you can make your own Pokemon cards, stickers, keychains, certificates, sign, tattoos, and much, much more. So yeah, once again, it was Pokemon, so that was the main reason for picking it up. It's not listed at CEX, but it does go for about £7 on eBay. And then the last game that I got off Nikki was The Sims, the complete collection of expansion packs. So this is, if I remember rightly, 2, 4, so it's got 6 different expansion packs for the original Sims. And yeah, I had never seen it come in this sort of format, so grabbed it off him. And so it goes for £20 at CEX, £15 on eBay. And then the last thing that Nikki chucked in was a pack of 2003 McDonald's Match Battle Pokemon cards. These are unopened, so I'm going to actually put them in with the set that I've got, because I don't think I've got this box. And yeah, couldn't find that listed anywhere, so yeah. Right. So now we get on to the other pickups that I've got. So a lot of these, if not all of these, no, not all of these, but most of them have come from eBay. the absolute addiction that I have for sitting there at night just sort of flicking through eBay. So the first one that we've got is another new empty box for the collection. So as I've said so many times this year, my big aim is to amass as many of the boxes for consoles that I've got in the collection. And yeah, whenever I see them, I have actually got an active search on eBay at the moment for empty console boxes. So this is why I sort of get notified on a daily basis any new ones that get added on. So yeah, I got this one, which is the Xbox One S. This is the 500 gig model. So last year I picked up a 40 Xbox One S, and I think a little while later I managed to get a white controller from the boot fair. Both of them need to be repaired. At the time of filming this, I haven't done the repair video for them, but the plan is that they will go in here. The box comes with all the inserts, all of the booklets, manuals, everything like that, and it even comes with the Battlefield 1 access code. I'm not bothered of using that. I've got a copy. I've got a physical copy of Battlefield 1 on the Xbox One. But yeah, I just really wanted to get a box to put it in, because obviously we've got the Series S, the Xbox One, and yeah, it was just nice to get a box for the One S. So for that, we paid £17.49. On average, they go for about £25 on eBay. So yeah, that was really good. And then I will say, I think this next thing that I've got is possibly my favourite pickup of today. It is a lot bigger than I was expecting it to be, but I had it on the desk this afternoon while I was getting ready to film this video, and the wife come in and she was like, "That looks so cool." And it is a Mario amiibo end level display. So the idea is you've got sort of bits that you can put all of the amiibos in and basically display them. So what I want to do is I want to actually get Mario based amiibos to put in this. So I want like all sort of standard outfits. So I want Mario, Luigi, Peach, Toad, Bowser and Yoshi. And yeah, I just want to try and get them, sort of put them in and hopefully display this somewhere. So yeah, I haven't got a clue where I'm going to put it. I've got no room in the games room for something that big. So yeah, it's a bit of a funny one as to where I'm actually going to put it. But I paid £19.49 for it. Looking it up online, they go for about £30 normally. So yeah, saved a bit on that. But what I did have to do was obviously get an amiibo to put in it to start with. So I ended up getting the Mario amiibo. Managed to get this for a good deal. I got it for £8.44. It goes for about £10 at CEX and £15 on eBay. But what I can do is I can put it in the top there, and we've got our first amiibo. So yeah, I have to admit, I've always sort of shied away from sort of the amiibos and everything like that. But actually seeing this has I've sort of been bitten by the amiibo bug. Obviously, up until this point, the only amiibos that I had in the collection were the Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. That's the thing then. Tears of the Kingdom one. I've got that brand new. And then we've also got a Banjo-Kazooie. So I managed to get this at the boot fair for 50p. But other than that, I've never really gone out looking for amiibos or anything like that. But that has definitely changed now, because in addition to the Mario, also managed to get hold of a Samus amiibo. Now I don't want to put it in that display, but you will probably start seeing amiibos pop up on the shelf, because as well as this one, I did pick up a couple of others, and they will be in an upcoming video. And I have to say, I'm really chuffed with those ones. So for Samus, we paid £7.94. Goes for £10 at CEX, £13.50 on eBay. And where we put? I'll tell you what, we'll put Samus there. Right, so next up we get back into some games, and the first game that we've got is a sealed Switch game. So this is Minecraft Story Mode Series 2 on the Switch. Now, I've already got multiple copies of this. I've got it on the PS4 and the Xbox One. So why am I buying this copy as well? Because this is the only copy of Minecraft Story Mode Season 2 that you can get that doesn't require a download. So both the PS4 and Xbox versions, there was not a version released that had all of the content on the disc. Only this version does. So this version actually quite sought after, and I will admit I didn't pay as much as it normally goes for, but definitely more than I would probably have paid for a game that's 2018, so what's that, 5 years old. So we paid £42.69 for it. Goes for £60 at CEX and £55 on eBay. And yeah, as I say, this is the only version you can get where all of the content is on the media, basically. So that was the big reason for picking that one up. Then next up, we've got a couple of Resident Evil games, and first one that we've got is Resident Evil Outbreak on the PS2. So yeah, whenever I get the chance, I will always pick up Resident Evil games. We've got quite a good collection of them at the moment. I think I've got 4 of the PS1 games, and I've got most of, I think there's, including this one, I'd have been missing 3, I think, or possibly 4 on the PS2. So yeah, I sort of saw this. I think I ended up getting it. Yeah, it wasn't that expensive, so I paid £8 for that. It normally goes for about £10 on both CEX and eBay. But yeah, this is sort of an alternative look. I think this is based around Resident Evil 3. Well, it's between sort of Resident Evil 2 and 3. And yeah, I have played. I'm pretty sure I've played it before. I don't know why I don't have it, unless it's one of. I don't even think it was one of the PS2 games that I lost. I don't know. I definitely recognise the game. I definitely recognise playing it, but yeah, not too sure when. So yeah, £8 paid, and then £10 at both CEX and eBay. And then in addition to that, I also picked up Resident Evil Outbreak File 2. So this is the sequel. It's a really weird sequel because it's actually based in all of the same locations as the first game, just told from a different person's viewpoint. So yeah, very, very interesting. I think as the game sort of progresses, it then sort of varies off into different areas, but you definitely start in the same place. So for that, I paid £16.99 for that. Goes for £18 at CEX, £25 on eBay. And then the other Resident Evil thing, I'm going to jump ahead a bit in my list. I did buy one more Resident Evil thing, and that was a set of Resident Evil keys. So yeah, I saw these. I thought they were so cool. So these are the key shapes that are based. I believe these are based off Resident Evil 2, and these are sort of like the keys from around the police station. So yeah, I saw them. I thought they were sort of really cool. Just wanted to get them so I could add them to the Resident Evil shelf. So we paid £7.99 for them. Normally online they go for about £15. So yeah, managed to find a seller that was selling them a bit cheaper. But yeah, just thought they were so unique and different that I wanted to pick them up. The other thing that I'm looking to get for the sort of Resident Evil collection is you can actually get vials of the T virus and the G virus that look like the vials from the film, from the first film. So yeah, I've been looking at them for years, but they're always so expensive. They're like £150 for the set. So yeah, they're something that I keep going back to, and I will at some point pick them up. But yeah, up until now I haven't been able to get them. Okay, so jumping back, the next pickup we've got is another one of the Nintendo watches. So recently we picked up the Super Mario 3 Xeon Nintendo watch. So these are watches that you're basically a bit like the gaming watches, but they're sort of smaller and on your wrist. Well, this time managed to pick up the Star Fox one. So yeah, there are a whole raft of different ones for these. You've got, I think there's about 3, possibly 4 different versions of the Mario watch, and there's actually 2 different versions of this with a completely different design sort of watch. But yeah, I sort of saw this on eBay, and obviously because I'm trying to get as many of these as possible, I sort of grabbed it as soon as I can. It was sold as 40, but once it arrived, it all seemed to work without a problem. So yeah, really chuffed with that. I paid £49.66. It's actually come over from the US, and yeah, these go for about £90 in working condition. So really good price on that. I'm really happy. Then moving on, we have got a PS4 game. So this is a remake of a PS3 and Xbox 360 game, and that is Metro Redux. So this contains Metro 2033 and Metro Last Light remakes basically. And yeah, these are some games that I've been wanting to play for ages. So what I wanted to do was I wanted to pick up the Redux version and actually set some time aside to actually play through them. So yeah, recently I have been on a real mission to complete some of the older games. So I've recently completed The Last of Us. I am at the time of filming playing through Horizon Zero Dawn. So yeah, I'm sort of lining up a couple of other games to basically be the next games in line that I go through and complete. And then what I'll do is at the end of the year, I'll run through a lot of the games that I've completed this year. So yeah, this was one that I absolutely really wanted to play. So looking it up online, I picked it up for £7.49. It goes for £6 at CEX, £10 on eBay. But yeah, it is in really good condition. It's got everything with it. So yeah, happy with that price. Then, okay, so next up we are going to be looking at something a bit different to what I normally pick up. So you would have seen in a recent video that I got a whole load of Pokemon store displays, and I have to say that sort of got I sort of got bitten by a bug then, because I then started looking at store displays, and yeah, I have to say it's become a bit of an addiction. So I think this was the first one that I actually picked up after that video, and it is the Alan Wake big box store display. So it has got a bit of damage. I've got to do some repairs. It does have a rip on the bottom, so yeah, it needs a bit of repair work done to it, but other than that, it is in really good condition. And yeah, it's an interesting one, because yeah, I've seen a couple of these sort of big box displays, both on eBay and in stores as well. So saw it, just decided to grab it. It was as I say, it was the first one that I saw that was in a price range that I could afford to just sort of have a go. So what did I pay? I paid £15 for that. I haven't got any other prices, because with store displays it's very difficult to get pricing for it, because a lot of the time there might be sort of one listed online, and that's it. You don't sort of see them that often. So a lot of the time with store displays, if you see one that you like, you literally just got to grab it. So yeah, I got that. Then what have we got? Actually, we'll move straight on, because I think I've skipped over one as well. So as well as the Alan Wake, I did actually pick up another store display. This was another one. I'd had it sitting in my my watch list for quite a while, and it hadn't shifted. So here what I've done was I sent the seller an offer, and then he countered, and it was a reasonable price. And it is. I'm just going to get it out of the box. So it is a Super Mario display. So this is a sort of Nintendo DS display. It shows sort of different Mario games, sort of Mario Kart 7, Super Mario 3D Land, New Super Mario Bros. 2, Mario Tennis Open, and Super Paper Mario Sticker Star. And yeah, basically the idea for this is that it would sit on top of a shelf, a bit like that, and yeah, display the game. So I originally was planning to put it on top of the Nintendo shelf, but it is actually a bit, I thought it was about the same width as my shelves, but it's actually a bit smaller. So if we look here, it only fills about 3/4 of the shelf. So yeah, I am not too sure where I'm going to put this now, but as I say, it's not something that I've seen before, so took the opportunity just to grab it when I could. And for now, I am going to put it back in the box that it arrived in. There we go. So yeah, I just don't want it getting damaged. But yeah, so I ended up paying £23.45 for that. Once again, couldn't find anything like it online. It was just no reference to it, so I haven't got any price comparisons for it. But as I say, it is really unique. So I want to try and find somewhere that I can actually display it in the games room. But unfortunately, at the moment, it's just difficult to find space for stuff like that. Not without basically sort of covering up other stuff. But actually, I will say, probably before the games room tour, I will be sorting out the sort of what I class as the Nintendo shelf, and trying to get some of my sort of console boxes up there. Right, so next up, we've actually got a CEX purchase. So I actually got this from CEX Online, and I was watching someone else's pickups videos, and they started talking about this, showed a bit of footage of it, and it looked really, really good. And so yeah, I went on CEX and looked it up, managed to get it for a good price actually. So what did I pay? I paid £10.95 for it, and that is Blood Drive on the PS3. So this is, I think the best way to describe this is Dead Rising in cars. It's probably Dead Rising meets Carmageddon. That's probably the best way to describe it. Really, really fun to play. I really enjoyed playing this. And basically, you're in an arena, and you've got other cars that you've got to destroy. There are zombies everywhere, and you get extra points for taking out the zombies in creative ways. You get extra points of taking out the other drivers. And yeah, it is just, as I say, Dead Rising meets Carmageddon is probably the best way to describe this. So the reason I picked it up from CEX was because it goes for about £20 on eBay, so I get it for about half price. Only problem I had is that once it arrived, it didn't have the manual, but I was a bit like, I can try and track down a manual somewhere, probably get it for sort of £3-4, and that way I'll be able to have the game. I'll still pay less than the eBay price. So yeah, decided to sort of keep hold of it. Then what have we got next? Next up we've got an N64 game. So this is an N64 game we've already got in the collection, but I only have it cart only, whereas now I have got it box complete, and that is 1080 Snowboarding. So yeah, as I say, I do have this as cart only, but really wanted to get hold of a copy that was complete, and whenever I can, I will upgrade any cart only games that I've got, if I can get them sort of box complete. Now whether that is a case of sort of buying the box, manual and all of that, and basically putting it together myself, or if it works out better to just basically buy a new version complete in box. But for me, I would rather have a game that is complete in box instead of sort of cart only. So yeah, was sort of looking about one night. Basically had, I think I had all of my N64 games out, and I just sort of was on eBay looking around trying to find, work out. I was actually looking for box onlys of a lot of things, and then when I couldn't find it, then I had to look at sort of complete in box, and yeah, sort of saw this, managed to pick it up. So I paid £14.50 for that. Looking it up online, it goes for £10 at CEX and £18 on eBay. And this was actually I sent the seller an offer on this, and yeah, they accepted, which was really good. But it didn't come in the protective case or anything like that. What I do is when they arrive, first thing I do is unbox it, check it all out, test the game cart, and then it all immediately gets put into a protective sleeve. Right, next one. This is an Xbox One game, and this is actually a game that was originally out on the original Xbox, and I have had it on my wish list for absolutely ages. So I wanted to pick it up. When I saw that there was a next-gen remake, I actually decided to pick it up. When I was looking, it actually comes on both the Xbox and Xbox One and the PS4. Whereas I think the original only come out, it was an original Xbox exclusive. And that is Call of Cthulhu. So yeah, I have played through this a bit. Nowhere, literally probably about half hour, 40 minutes, something like that. And yeah, thought it was really, really good. Really enjoyed playing it. And essentially it is a it's a mystery game. And the idea is that you're sort of going through and you've got to solve this mystery. But there's also a supernatural element to the game as well. Really, really interesting. The graphics were absolutely stunning. And it's definitely a game that is on the to complete list for this year. And yeah, definitely one that I am looking forward to playing through a bit more. So that one, once again, that was an eBay purchase. Paid $7.99 for that. Goes for £6 at CEX and normally goes for about £10 on eBay. So next up we have got a couple of PlayStation games. Now I actually picked these up from Game, and yeah, this first one was actually one that I originally picked up from eBay, not eBay, Amazon, and once it was delivered, realised it was actually the German version that had been sent. And if I can avoid it, if it's a game that's easily available, then I won't take the German version. So yeah, I should have realised, because it took a week to get here, and yeah, if it's the English version, it would have been sort of next day, and that is Teardown. So this was a game that I'd seen people play months and months ago. Thought it was looked absolutely brilliant, but it was only on PC, and I think it was just before Christmas it released on consoles. And yeah, immediately added it into my Amazon basket. And I think that's when I purchased it. But that, at the time, on Amazon, it was costing £41. And yeah, it was only after the German version arrived that I had a look and saw that that was well overpriced. Because I ended up picking this up from Game. And it's actually a bit cheaper than marked as well. It actually only cost £18.98. Looking it up online, it goes for £28 at CEX, £34 on eBay. So yeah, a really good price from Game actually, which was really good. And yeah, I absolutely love this game. It really it's one of those games that you can definitely play when you've had a absolutely terrible day and all you want to do is be destructive. So I played through some of the story missions, and as you're playing through the story missions, you unlock the different levels, which you can then go back and play them in sort of free roam mode. Basically, in free roam mode, it just allows you to just destroy, which is great. There's been several times that I've gone in and I've literally just gone into free roam mode and spent an hour or two just destroying this level. So yeah, absolutely brilliant game. Highly recommend anyone that hasn't already played it to give it a go. And yeah, that was probably one of the big pickups that I picked up from Game that I really, really enjoyed. Then next up, we've got Lego 2K Drive. So I saw this come out a few months ago. but when it came out, I just didn't have the money to pick it up. It was a couple of months before Christmas, and I did say to the little one that I would pick it up as soon as I could. But yeah, I have to admit, I really enjoyed this. So basically, it's a Lego racing game, but it's an open world Lego racing game. So after you complete the initial sort of intro races, it then sort of allows you to go sort of more free roam, and yeah, I really enjoyed it. It is, I would say, the races feel very much like the sort of Sonic karting games. That's probably the nearest sort of game that I can think of to these. But it's very, actually more, to be more precise, actually, it's the Sonic Racing Transformed. I think that's what the game is called, where basically your vehicle transitions between sort of a car, a boat, and a plane. And that's very similar to how this does. Sort of as you're going through, you'll change between, I think it's a car, a quad bike, and a boat, if I remember rightly. But yeah, I've thoroughly enjoyed it, really enjoyed playing it. It's definitely one that I'll go back to. Obviously, my version is still sealed because at the time it was also on PS Plus. So I'm actually playing the digital version at the moment. Then next up, we've got one more PS5 game, and that is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge. So yeah, this was one that I've been wanting to play, wanting to pick up for a while. I had already played it because I've actually played this through Xbox Game Pass, and I think the footage that you're seeing will be from the Xbox version. But yeah, wanted to get a physical copy of it, so I actually had a copy of it as and when it gets dropped from Game Pass. And yeah, thoroughly enjoyed this. The old sort of 2D type beat 'em up levels. Really enjoyed it. Definitely an amazing Turtles game. So I paid £14.98 for that. Goes for £18 at CEX and £25 on eBay. And also, before we move on, Lego 2K Drive, paid £13.98 for that. Goes for £25 at CEX. Obviously, that will be pre-owned as well. But brand new, it goes for £20 on eBay. And then we got one more game, and this is actually a Switch game, and that is We Heart Katamari Reroll Royal Reverie. I don't know. So basically, this is a sort of modern. I don't even think it's not a remake. It's more of a sequel to Katamari Reroll. I think that was a PS2 game, I want to say. I can't remember. It might have been 360. But yeah, I'd been wanting to pick them up for a while. I couldn't get into this. I really couldn't. I thought it was just going to be a case of that they would dump you in a level and you just go through sort of picking everything up, get bigger and bigger and bigger. A bit like a sort of different take on Donut County, where you're playing a hole and you just get bigger and bigger. I thought that's how it was going to be. They literally just chuck you into a level, but there's a lot more to it than that. So it is a game I'm going to go back to and sort of put a bit more time into it to see if it was just because it wasn't what I expected when I first sat down to it. So definitely going to give it another go. But yeah, on sort of first play, just didn't get into it, which is a shame because, as I say, I've been wanting to play these games for a while. But paid £16.98 for that. Goes for £28 at CEX and £20 on eBay. And that is all of the pickups for today. So before we wrap up the video, let's quickly run through the totals. So total spend was £338.58. If we picked everything up that we could from CEX, it would have been £257.50. And then if we picked everything up from eBay, we'd be looking at £509. So yeah, once again, some not really good pickups. Definitely saved quite a bit of money, which is always a plus. But yeah, so I am going to go and get these all put away so that I can start getting ready to film the game room tour, which I am so excited about. I love filming this every year, or definitely loved filming it last year, and as I say, it was a fair amount of time since I've done the last one before that. So yeah, it's definitely something that I am now looking forward to doing every year. And as I say, there's been so many changes to the games room since we've done that last video. So yeah, I'm going to go and get all that sorted. But before you head off, if you did enjoy the video, don't forget to hit that like button. And if you're not already, smash that subscribe button and ring the bell to be kept up to date when the games room tour goes live. And yeah, with that said, thank you so much for watching today. Really hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you on the next one. Alright, bye!